Yeah, hello, how are you? Good evening, good morning. This is Steward once again. Welcome to my YouTube channel. It has been some time since we interacted over here, but I'm back again with a good story for you. Today I want to expose one man of history, man who has left a great mark, man who is quoted all the times, and who lived for a purpose. Martin Luther King Jr. Definitely you have heard about that name. And maybe if someone asked you who was Martin Luther King Jr., you would hesitate to state some facts about this great man. Who was Martin Luther King? Martin Luther King was a pastor. He was an activist. He was a human rights defender. And he was a moralist, someone who stood as a brave man for what he believed that he was convicted of. Martin Luther King was born in 1929. He was born in a family of pastors, and he went to school. Since his graduation with BA degree in 1948 from Morehouse College and Distinguished Negro Institution, he joined the church, and then later he joins a theological seminar where he trains as a pastor, and he is nominated to serve in one of the Baptist church in Montgomery. Martin Luther King influence did not remain. It was not confined in the buildings of the church, the square or rectangle. Martin Luther King went out and advocated for what he believed. What was happening when Martin Luther King was existing? There was legal segregation for black people in the United States. The legal segregation means that there were legal framework and laws that were not good, or they were against the blacks. Then Martin Luther King went out. He organized demonstrations. He voiced out for the black people. One of the monumental activity which he did was he organized a boycott that lasted for 382 days. This was against the segregation in the buses. At this time, black people used to travel with their buses and the white people with their buses. But Martin Luther King went out and mobilized the people. On December 1956, the laws which were against the blacks and which were segregating them in the buses, they were abolished. During this time, this man was arrested. Martin Luther King Jr. was arrested. His home was bombed. Because when you want to make a change, there is always a force of evil which rises against you. But he emerged victorious. Lucky enough, the Supreme Court of the United States declared unconstitutional all the laws that required segregation on the buses. Martin Luther King was a strong man, and he sinks in history as a Christian who did not keep his convictions for himself, but he wanted to do something for the world. What are some of the achievements which this guy stands out for in his life? This man he was awarded 5 honorary degrees. An honorable degree is a degree which you get for honor. As much as there were those who were against him, he now sinks in the history as a man who attracted attention across the world due to his good work. He was recognized by scholars, by academic institutions, and that's why he was awarded. To get 5 honorary degrees, you must be really doing something. And during his age, as much as he was pushing what was not common or what was not acceptable during his existence, to attract such attention, it was not easy. So you can see how this man did. He was assaulted at least 4 times. And at the same time he was being awarded. It means that whatever you do, if it is right and you are standing for it, you may get the attacks, but still you'll be recognized. This man, at the age of 35, Martin Luther King Jr. was the youngest man to have received the Nobel Peace Prize. The Nobel Peace Prize is a global award that is given to the people who are thought and who have been evaluated and found to have consistent and significantly contributed towards humanity. What did Martin Luther King Jr. do? Was he after money? Was he doing all his activities to become popular or to become rich? When he won the Nobel Peace Prize, he dedicated 54,000 US dollars to the furtherance of the civil rights movements. That money he directed it to the structure to build platform to fight against all the legal laws which allowed segregation or injustices. That is what he did. What can we learn from this, from the life of this man? What can we get from the story of this man? It means that if you work and you give yourself to what you believe and to push for what you are convinced is true, then you are likely to make a mark, a permanent mark, which will not be erased. Martin Luther King Jr. was not a president. He was not a prime minister. Neither was he an MP. And he was not an MCA. He was never elected by anybody. But he took an initiative to lead the society to where he believed was the right place. You don't need many things to make an impact in this world. You just need to go out and tell us what you are convicted of and mean it and live for it. Don't just pass by this world without doing something for humanity, You may not win the Nobel Peace Prize like Martin Luther, but you can touch one life, you can touch 2 lives and change them towards the morality. There are many issues today which are against the natural laws, natural justice. They are against the philosophies of morality. In whatever tribe, you can move out and you advocate for that. Martin Luther King Jr. stood against the vices of his time. You can look in your village, you can look in your school, you can look around wherever you live. There are vices of your age. Rebuke them vehemently. Be jailed for the right cause. If you have to suffer, don't suffer because you broke any law. Suffer because you are fighting for what is right. If you get assassinated, be assassinated for the right cause. Like Martin Luther King, like Jesus himself, and any other great men who have lived this world not for themselves, but they have given themselves to the service to humanity. We don't live just because we live. We live to make an impact to the people, to friends, and anybody else. Thank you very much for listening to me. Remember to subscribe to my channel. Many more expositions of great figures of this world are coming. Thank you.